Even the name of the railroad sounds beautiful. The Bountiful Grain and Craig Mountain Railroad is a photogenic masterpiece in a stunning natural setting in western Idaho. For nearly 100 years, most of that time known as part of the Camas Prairie Railroad, it has taken viewers' breath away with its incredible beauty. It still runs along much of the former route of the Camas Prairie, and it's still as gorgeous as it was the day it opened. The fascinating history begins in 1909, when what are now the Burlington Northern Santa Fe and the Union Pacific Railroads agreed to jointly operate a railroad here. They had been fierce competitors in the Pacific Northwest, but it made both financial and logistical sense to share this one railroad rather than each build their own to run along the Clearwater River. There were major traffic opportunities to haul timber, minerals, and agricultural products, and there was more than enough business to go around. A few years later, more track was laid between Orofino and Headquarters, Idaho. It's all part of a scenic area, much of which is still inaccessible by road. The trains can run on a steep grade along a rugged mountainside or through the quiet beauty of a gentle valley. Today, the portions of track that are still active are worked as hard now as they were a century ago. It's a tough business which over the years has had its share of challenges, but the freight business has been lured back and the timber is being hauled as it has been since the early days.
We lured back some of the customers by getting some of these cars on a car hire free basis. A lot of the customers have problems with timing, dating. If a salesman sells a load, he'll sell it 2 weeks and he has to sell it 2 weeks in advance in order to get his cars on time. Where we went and took cars, we got them car hire free from, for example, from like Union Pacific, and took those cars, told them we'll put them on spot. When you're ready to load them, you load them. So the salesmen don't need that 2-week lead time anymore. They can sell a car as soon as they sell their load. They can put it on the car and it's shipped almost immediately. Nobody pays any car hire. There's no demurrage bills. And that's been a really big instrumental thing that we've done. Plus, we put a schedule out. We told them exactly what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, how it's going to be done. So we've tried to acclimate everything that we do to them. So that's been the biggest thing, is trying to get to the customers. And plus, we tried to develop as much of a rapport as we could with them. We've talked to them, we've worked with them, and they know us personally. They have our home phones. They talk to us if there's any needs, anything comes up or arises, that they can call us at home. They can call us morning, noon, and night. We try to make ourselves available just about any and all times.
And yes, the daily scenery is an added bonus for the folks who work on this railroad, and it's a bonus that's appreciated by all.
I'll tell you what, that's the best part of the job. I think it's almost, we take some people for rides and stuff once in a while, but for me, it's almost therapeutic. I just enjoy it. It's peaceful, it's calming. It's probably the most ideal job I've ever had.
The BG&CM portion of Camas Prairie history doesn't have a lock on beauty or business here. Going north from Lewiston is the Washington and Idaho Railway, climbing up out of the valleys to run along the Palouse River. Through the years, on and off, the hauling of grain, lumber, and fertilizer have helped pay the bills. Just rolling down the tracks, you feel how history and mystique go hand in hand with hard work. It's often called the railroad on stilts because of the large number of wooden bridges and trestles, some hundreds of feet in length. Maintenance is a huge job, and it is always ongoing.
Well, it's referred to as the railroad on stilts because of its many and large bridges that it has. Of the 52 miles that are just on the second subdivision, 2.5 miles of that is bridges. You compare that to even the 28-mile fourth subdivision, and it has 48 bridges. All of this railroad has got lots of bridges. Well, it's just taken hard work. We haven't had the pleasure of having the large crews and that the Camas Prairie had enjoyed. So it's just taken a lot of hard work from the employees that we have had. We've had a very good relationship with the state of Idaho, and they've been, through state assistance, is going to reopen the second subdivision. The mystique is just everything that it once was. I mean, to think of the booming railroad with the 300-plus employment that it had in the 70s and all the trains that were ran. And then, rail fanning standpoint, it was always famous because it had the NP and UP equipment, and later on the BN and UP. And just the large trains that they ran, and also the fact that even all the way up until the sale in '98 that they had the full 5-man train crews with cabooses. It was just kind of its own, it's just always its own railroad.
Both of these railroads are proof that beauty, brains, and brawn can be a stunningly successful combination, long after the allure of youth has worn away.